Nazare. I'm going to show you how to make these earrings here today. Shouldn't take too long. What you'll need are some pliers, a needle, some thread. You'll need some beads. I'm going to be doing mine in pink. I don't know if you can see them there. Pink, blue, and white. The white ones are kind of hard to see. And I got some silver to do the center of the flower in this design. You can see it there in the center here. You'll also need some of these longer beads for this one as well. And then some seed beads. But like I said, I'm using white, pink, and silver for my seed beads, and I'm using light blue for my longer beads. You'll also need some hooks. I'm going to be using these brownish colored hooks today. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, you'll need to thread on 7 of the longer beads. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to pull them down to the tail end of your string here, and you're going to leave about 4 to 6 inches of tail. And then we're going to go back through, I'm going to go to the first one here, and we're going to go through the tail end of it to create a hoop around this bead, just like that. And then we're going to go to the next bead, and we're going to go through the tail end of that one. And once you pull your string here, it should create a loop, and it should butt it up against the other bead, as you see there. And then just to reinforce this, we're going to go back through the first bead. Whoops. So then you will have both your tail and your working thread coming out the same side. And then back up through the last bead you just strung on. There you go. So we're back to this. Okay, we're going to continue that through the rest of these beads until they're all stacked next to each other. There's 7 of them there, so you'll have 7 in a row. So again, just go up through the tail end of it, pull it, it should stack next to your other beads, and then just reinforce it by going through the bead before and then back through the last bead you strung on. And just be careful not to get tangled. And pull it nice and tight. And they should start stacking nicely on top of each other. Okay, so again, there we go. Go through the tail end, pull it, and they will stack. You might have to help it a little bit as you're pulling it. Go through the second bead down, and then so you are like this, and then back up through the top bead. Again, so we're stacking one on top of each other. Oh, tangled there. There we go. So one on top of each other. And I got 3 more here. I'm just going to go ahead and finish those up quickly. go through the tail end to create that loop, and then again just reinforce it by going through the next bead down and back through your top bead. Again, last one here, and then again go through the second bead down, and then back through your top bead. Okay, and you should have a row of 7 lined up there. So you can see. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it up like this, and this is gonna be our centerpiece here. Again, on the top here you'll see that there are little pieces of string hanging out the top. I call those bridges, and we're gonna use those to attach the next row to our work here. So we're gonna start off with this pattern. We're gonna take one white bead, pull it right down your string so it's sitting on top of your blue bead, and you're just going to go through the first bridge underneath it, pull your string through. Oh, my needle just fell off there. Okay, so you're going to go through your first bridge, and then you're going to go up through the bottom of your white bead, and that's just going to hold it in place. There we go. And then we're going to do another white bead. So again, there it is. Pull it down to your work here, and it should stack on top of the other white bead. And then you're just going to go to the next bridge beside your work here, and you're going to put your needle underneath of it, pull it through, and it should flip that bead over to sit next to the other white bead. And then just thread up through the bottom of that bead, and that should keep it in place there. Okay, and with this pattern it will be 2 white, 2 pink, 2 white along this row. So we're going to move to pink. I've got a pink one here, and it should sit on top of the white one. Just go through the next bridge available, pull it nice and tight, should flip it over, and then go up through the bottom of that pink bead. There we go. Pull it nice and tight, and that will keep it in place. Okay, so we have another pink bead in this pattern, so I'm just going to grab another pink bead here. Pink. Oh. And it's going to sit on top of the other pink bead. Go through your next bridge. Pull it tight. It should sit next to your pink bead. And then just again go through the bottom of that bead, and that will secure it in place. Okay, and we got 2 more spots here, so we're going to go back to white with this pattern. I've got a white one here. Pull it down under the bridge, and then through the base of that bead. Okay, and one more for this row, and we're going to do one more white. White. Pull it down, and then through the last bridge of this row. Okay, and then up through the base. Okay, so that gives us a row of, you can see it there, 2 white, 2 pink, 2 white. Okay, and that will be the first row in this one. We're going to move to the next row, which will be white, pink, silver, pink, white. Okay, so we're going to grab a white one here, and we're going to bring that down. And with these smaller beads, you'll see as well, you created little bridges in between them. They're kind of hard to see there with the beads being white, but you're gonna go through the bridge of the first 2 beads, and you're gonna pull it through, and that should flip your bead over, and then you're gonna go up through the base of that bead, and that will secure in spot for this row. There we go. Right. And for this pattern, we're gonna go to a pink. There's a pink bead. Pull it down. And again, just go to the next available bridge underneath it. It should flip your bead over. Place it next to your first bead there, and then just string up through the bottom. And that will secure it in place. Okay, and then we're gonna go to a silver bead. Let's pick a nice center here. So there's a silver. It's sitting on the top. Let's go through your next available bridge. Should flip it over, stack it next to that pink one nice and tightly, and then again up through the bottom. And in this pattern, we need to do a pink one next. So I'm going to grab a pink bead here. Pink. And stack nicely on top the silver one. Just again through the next available bridge. Pull it nice and tight. And then up through the base of that bead. There we have it. And we're on the last bead of this row, and this one will be white. I'm just going to grab a white bead here and through the bridge, and then up through the base of that white bead. There we go. Okay, so that will bring us to our next row. In this next row, we'll be doing white, pink, pink, and white. So we're just going to grab a white bead here. And again, just following the pattern like we did before, go through the first available bridge, underneath it, and then and then through the base of the bead you just threaded on. That will secure it in its spot and be the first bead for your next row. Okay, and then we are going to grab a pink bead. Now I have it. And then through the next available bridge and up again through the base of the bead. So you'll start to see the flower pattern in the middle here forming. In the center there, it kind of looks like a cupcake right now. Okay, so next bead in this pattern again is pink. So we're just going to grab a pink one, pull it down the thread, and through your next available bridge. There we go. Okay, and the last bead for this row is white. I just grabbed a white bead, and again down through the bridge and up through the base of the bead to secure it in its place. Okay, so we are at the next row here, and we're just going to do three white beads along this row. So I'm going to grab a white bead. Whoops. There we go. White. See it there. Kind of hard to see. There it is. Through the bottom, or sorry, through your first available bridge. And, whoops, up through the base of that bead. And that starts your next row. And then you grab another bead, and we're just going to do the same thing. Pull the bead down the string, find your next available bridge, pull your string through, and then up through the bottom of that bead. Secure it nice and tight in its spot. Okay. And we're almost actually done the top half here. Let's see it there. Hard to see. And then we'll get to the bottom half here. It's white. Pull it down through your last bridge. And up through the base of that bead. There we go. Okay, and we're on our last row here. So we're just going to take one white, go through your first bridge, and again up through the base of that bead, and you might have to guide them sometimes just to get them to flip over. Up through the base and pull that nice and snug, and that will secure it in its spot there. And last bead for this row, white, through your bridge, and then up through the base of that bead. Okay. And then I'm going to put 2 beads on the top of this just to hook on the hooks here later. So I'm just going to thread on 2 white beads and pull them down the string, and then I'm going to go back through each bead on the end of each row here until I am back to the bottom here where this tail is. So I'm just going to go through the first one here, pull it nice and snug, and then down through the next row, and just keep going down until you are through that bottom long blue bead. There we go. And then through this blue bead, and that will get us down to the bottom of our earring, so we can work on the base here, which will be like these little legs you see here. Okay, so for this one, the first one, just make sure you don't get tangled in your tail. Just push it aside. You'll need to string on 2 white beads. You see there? And then 1 long bead, and in this one we're using blue. So white and blue. Just gonna push those down, and then you'll need, excuse me, 4 white. I got 4 white beads on there, and we're just going to thread those down. And in this one, we are just going to go back through the blue beads, so it's going to create a loop with those 4 bottom beads that we just thread on, like that. You can kind of see they are stacked next to each other now. and then you're going to go up through your other 2 beads, and then you are going to go up through the bottom of the base of the top part of your earring. And you're just going to pull that all nice and snug. I like to lay it down and pull it. I just find it a little bit easier. Just however you feel comfortable, just get your thread pulled through there, and just make sure your tail does not get caught up in your work there. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is go down. So you see your beads here that you started with. You're going to go down the second long blue bead, so you can start on the next tail of your earring. Okay, and in this one you will need 1 pink, 2 white, 1 longer blue one, and then the 4 base beads, and those ones are also white. There we go. And then you're just going to pull those all down to meet with your other work. Oops, there we go. Pull it all down. And you're going to go back through the blue bead, or the longer bead. If you use different colors, just go back through your longer bead, back through all of the beads to create that tail, and then up through this longer bead in the base of your work. And that will just secure the tail to the top part of your work, and just be careful you don't get tangled up in the legs when you're pulling your string tight. So there we go, we've got 2 legs on the bottom of our earring here. Okay, so we're going to move to the next one, and we're going to go down the 3rd long bead so we can get to that 3rd leg. There we go. In this one we will need 2 pink, 2 white, 1 longer bead, which is blue in this pattern, and then 4 white beads for the base on your tail. Oops. There we go. Okay, and then just push that all down. Try to keep your tail out of your way there. There we have it. And we're just going to go back through the longer blue bead and up to the base of your work again. There we go. And then we're just going to go up through the bottom of that 3rd bead and the bottom of the top part of the earring. Just like that. Secure that into its spot. And then we're going to move down the next bead. And onto the next little leg there. Okay, so for this one you'll need 3 pink. So we got 3 pink, 2 white, 1 longer bead. That one is blue in this case. Excuse me. And then 4 for the base. There we go. See them there. hard to see because they're white. And then, again, just pull it down to your work. And you're going to go through the bottom of that blue long bead there. Go. And then we're going to go up through the bottom of the base of your earring. Again, just to secure that in its place. And we're going to go down through the next available long bead there. And pull it, oops. Pull it nice and snug. There we go. And following this pattern, we're going to go to 2 pink beads and 2 white beads because we've hit the middle and now we are going out the outside. So what we're trying to do here is create kind of like a little V with the pink in the middle here. So we're going to decrease 1 bead and we're going to go 2 pink, 2 white, one longer bead, and the 4 base beads. There we have it. Okay. Just pull that all down. And then you want to go through again that longer bead, the long one in the middle there. Just go down the base of it. Whoops. Right back up through all the little beads before it. Pull it nice and tight. Just watch you don't get tangled. To the top. There you go. And then you are going to go up through the long bead on the base of your work there, just to again tie that into your work. Just make sure you're pulling it nice and slow so you don't get tangled on the other ones there. Okay, and then we're going to go down the next available longer bead. And with this one, we need 1 pink, 2 white, 1 longer blue one, and 4 white beads. Pull them all down and go through the base of that blue bead. And then through the 3 beads above it. Excuse me. There you have it. And then you go up through the base of that longer bead. And then back down the next long bead available. Okay, and we're on our last tail here. You can see the earrings coming together quite nicely. Almost done. And we are to 2 white, 2 white, a blue, and 4 white. And let's see there. Pull them down. And then you are going to go through the base of that blue bead. Oops. Oh goodness. There we go. Pull it nice and tight. It should come up next to your work there. Go up through your last long bead there. Just making sure you're not getting tangled. Make sure it's nice and snug to your work, that everything's hanging nicely the way you want it. And then we are going to go back down through the second bead, the second longer bead, and you're just going to tie a knot around one of your legs. So just going to make a hoop here. There's the hoop, and then you're just going to go through it 1, 2, oops, I messed it there the first time. Just go through it twice, and then pull it into your work, and that will tie it nice and snug. If you want to do it twice, you can. What I like to do is thread back down through one of the legs of my work, like so, after I've tied the knot, like that. And then I like to cut it nice and close, so if it does come untied for whatever reason, there is a little tail inside this leg that you can kind of work with to tie back up if need be. Okay, and you're just going to tie off that side as well. The same way, just hoop it around your leg. And just go through it a couple times. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the hook to the earring. So you just need to get your hook out. I have this style with like the spring and the ball. You're just going to open it up slightly so you can slide your earring on. Slide it through the first top beads there. There you go. And then you're just going to close your hook up. And cut off any excess. There you go. And just repeat that pattern to make your other earring there.